song for my show. Said, alright, just give me all the details, man. And my homie says he don't know. Well, if you're gonna pay me big bucks, guess I might should have something to say. He said, you know what I bring? I'm the customizing king. Nothing else matters anyway. So is he gonna have guests? I don't know. Is he gonna go live? I don't know. What time will it be? What will you see? I'm pretty much in the dark, but I can guarantee he'll be customizing action figures, getting paint all on his fingers. It's art by Akerman. It's art by Akerman. Tips and tricks and conversation, sharing his gift with every nation. It's art by Akerman. Art by Akerman. You best get ready, cause now it's time for Art by Akerman.
Yeah, that's not the screen. This is the screen. Welcome folks to another mail call video. This is where I open up some mail. We did start about a minute late there, having a good conversation with the guys in the back. About just depression and anxiety and hormones and being middle-aged guy and stuff. And I guess I just want to really quickly throw out there, if you're going through stuff, make sure you reach out to somebody. Don't feel like you got to take everything all on yourself. It's not, either don't get that macho attitude of, guys can't talk about this kind of stuff. That's not true. So if you're feeling down, if you've got something going on, make sure you talk to somebody, reach out. This week I should be on a high right now. And for some reason, I just feel like absolute crap, just useless and alone and just not good. So that being said, going to open up some mail here. Got some great friends joining me on screen and folks in the chat. So we will have some fun here. First off, coming to the stage, he used to say that I used to do these all the time while he was working. I think he thought that I was trying to avoid having him on the channel. So now I make sure that I make a concerted effort to do it on days that he's not working, which doesn't happen often because he works all the time. And that is Joe Gonzalez. Joe, how are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. I'm thrilled to be here, Curtis, and I'm even happier that you make concessions on my behalf. I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely. I know we will be doing an off-world. We've been doing some off-world Star Trek stuff. We will be doing another one coming up soon as we can schedule it around Joe's work, because they work this man to death. Like, come on.
They do, but I need money to buy toys, so I'm not complaining too much.
That's true. Next, coming to the stage, you may know him as the star of the new Off-World with 100% more rage. He brings all the rage and most of the recon. It is Blake, aka Recon Rage. What's going on, sir?
I want to give you a big hug, Curtis. I wish I could.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
And Joe?
Appreciate that.
I want to rub your head.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's an open invitation. Open invitation. Anytime you want to, Blake, help yourself.
Sometimes you just want to get the little, ooh, yeah.
Just gently. You work out too much for a hard slap.
That's true.
I don't want my eyeballs to pop out. So.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that.
I want to shout out some of the folks we got in the chat here. We got Crom316 says, hello, happy Sunday. Hello to you, sir. Toy Butter is the newest member of the channel. So appreciate you joining up. You can join for $1.99 a month. I mean, less than $2 a month. And that helps bring all this great content. You'll also get, early access and a discount on the paintbrushes that are coming soon. I did just get word, kind of shipping update here, that they are on the water. So paintbrushes have been loaded. They're on a boat.
Nice.
And they're on the way.
$1.99 is an absolute bargain for the amount of Curtis that you get. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm curious. Do you think your brushes are on the same ship with the Knights?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't know how all that stuff works. So I just got word that they were loaded and they are on the sea. So let's see. We got JMax77 here. Welcome. Schmerberberger is here. He says he's driving and watching. Be careful there. Be careful.
Careful, Schmerbs. We love you.
Terrence's next toy is here. I actually have something to open from Terrence today, so we'll get to that here in a second. We got Jen Syak, aka Lucky Sprinkles. Gina is here. We've got Evil Stick in the house. Ray Brewer. Let's see. Yeah, Terrence is giving some advice. Don't drive and watch. Just listen. So, and then Schmerber says,
use voice to text so that no one understands you.
Schmerber says, I'm too handsome not to watch. So maybe pull over then. Pull over. Do what you got to do. Wash your hands and then go from there. Dirk's Designs says, handsomest gnome this side of the Mississippi. Okay, I'll take it. Terrence, art is fantastic outlet for working through stuff. I know from experience. Yeah, I mean, being creative. I know Blake will back me up on this one, but also being active, like just getting up and doing something in the morning and trying to, it definitely can, change kind of your attitude and your mental state and stuff. So doing something, like don't just sink into the couch and, eat ice cream and, feel shitty about yourself. Do something, talk to people.
One other thing, Curtis, I'd like to add to that. So me and Trevor were swapping some messages this morning, and I don't know if you saw his message of him, the picture of him at the beach. He posted a picture at the beach. And,
nice.
one of the takeaways, I sent him some pictures over my long weekend of some things I got out and done. It's all about balance, right? Get outside in that sun, exercise, see other things in the world, and just have that balance.
I have also swapped some things with Trevor, but it was more like this.
Spit. He means he swapped spit with.
We've got Darla Akerman here in the chat. I know her. I was just traveling with her this week. She got some travel toys too. So, FYI.
I like her travel toys.
Yeah, we got one more travel toy video to edit and post. And she got one in that one as well. A little spoiler alert. So, also, Darla, who's now across the room from me, I didn't tell you there's another comment on the last travel toy video, and Tanya says she wants to see those fairy wings on a Legion's Ladies figure. So there you go.
Nice.
Let's see. Rob says $1.99. Yes, that is all for the low price of $1.99. You can be a member of the channel too. We've got I Am here. Everything else is silent. Terrence says if you get a night 10-pack each, and each one can hold an Art by Akerman brush to combat the demons back. Yep, I mean, that would work. Man, we've got Dave Orkin here in the chat. Welcome, Dave. Yeah, so there you go. All right, so going to get into some openings. So I got a couple boxes from Brett. So Brett sent me a box. It's kind of like a trade thing. Okay, so he sent me a couple things, but then he wants me to do some work for him on something else. But then when we were talking, then I found out there was something else I needed, and then, so he sent 2 packages. And then I got a package from Big Bad Toy Store and a package from Terrence. I think I'm going to start with the one from Terrence. First off, just want to show this like awesome artwork that Terrence did.
Oh, that's cool.
That is awesome.
I took off the address information because I don't know if he wants everybody knowing where he lives and stuff. But look at the Superman there. He's got paint on his thumb.
Nice.
What's he holding?
He's holding an action figure. It looks like a Cosmic Legion, maybe.
That's what I was wondering. Nice.
And it says subscribe to Art by Akerman on YouTube. So
that's awesome. Some mail advertisement at the travel center.
I got the Superman sponsorship. So that's
nice.
awesome.
Did your subscribers go up?
Not yet. I'm just now showing this for the first time. So
I meant all the mail workers that were like, I got to subscribe to Art by Akerman on YouTube.
Well, we did get Toy Butter. So Toy Butter, if you work at the post office and you saw this, and this is why you joined, let us know. But yeah, folks, take it from Superman. Join the channel. So,
and even if you didn't see that and joined, let us believe you did. That's what we want to know.
There you go. Packing paper, love it. Anything but styrofoam peanuts, folks. Don't hit me with them styrofoam peanuts. Then we got bubble too. You got bubble and paper. Like this guy knows how to pack. So, and it is the new.
Nice.
Yeah, look at those legs. He's got legs. That is.
He always gets picked up hitchhiking.
That is the Jason Todd Robin. So
I'm going to keep my comment.
before he gets crowbarred to death by Joker. So yeah, I was looking for this one. Terrence had found it. I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with Terrence though, because a couple times now I've asked him how much I owe him for this figure, and he has not. He just ignores it. So, Terrence, I haven't forgotten it, and you need to send me a number and some PayPal information so I can send you some payment. So, let's see. What does he say here?
Maybe he's just doing it.
2 Sharpies I had at work. Well, it looks pretty damn good for a couple Sharpies.
Heck yeah.
Maybe he's doing it from the good of his heart, and that's why he's just not responding. It sounds like a familiar situation I went through recently, except that person responded. But
yeah. Paul Morales jumped in. Welcome, Paul. Darla says, "Love your box art, Terrence. So cool." Yeah, when she saw the box, she like came in with a big smile on her face. She goes, "Look at the art that Terrence did," and she was showing me and stuff. So she was pretty excited. Dork Glare said, "Just send him $100." I don't even know where to send it, so I just be like, open up my front door and throw it and hope that it gets to him.
It'll get to there eventually.
Yeah, and we got confirmation from Toy Butter. Works at the post office. Saw Terrence's package and joined the channel. So,
that's excellent.
There you go.
Are you going to cut that out? Are you going to cut that out and frame it and put it in your studio?
I probably have to. Yeah. He says, but then he says, "I'll pay in some way."
Whoa.
So
better get them testosterone levels up.
I would honestly just demand the PayPal address. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else.
All right. So next, I think we will go to let's leave Brett's for last. So I'm going to go to the Big Bad Toy Store box, and this is something I've been super excited for. Folks on Offworld know that I've been waiting for these like all year,
forever.
Yeah, and as much as I truly can't stand Brian Flynn, I love the Silverhawks, and these are the vac metal versions. So I'm not going to completely open the package, but I'll get this wrapping off of it so you can see it. So I've got currently they had two vac metal ones out, which were Quicksilver and Steelheart, and now we've got Steel Will.
Oh wow, that looks nice.
So freaking good.
Wow.
And Bluegrass.
You need to have those out on Friday's pickups for Offworld. I want to actually see them out of the box.
Definitely going to open up one of them before Friday. I may try to save another one for later in the week or later in the month. Just to, as Oz says, toy edge myself a little bit. You don't want to shoot your whole Silverhawk load in one shot. So,
be shiny. Definitely be a shiny load.
True.
All right. And Bluegrass, which look at that, dude.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, that color is just fantastic. So the only bad thing about these vac metal ones, the first versions came with like some other accessories and stuff that like this one on the Bluegrass one, he had a guitar with like this musical note thing that comes off of it. That's really awesome. That doesn't come in this version, but luckily I got duped by Brian Flynn to buy the first versions that I didn't want. So now I can take the accessories from that pack and put it with this one and make a complete figure that it was almost like, I paid for twice.
So, what a bargain.
Yeah. The other thing I did notice on this too, these used to have slip covers on them. They've done it with the slip cover. So the price has gone up, accessories have gone down, slip cover off. So less packaging, less accessories, more money, folks.
Tough times for everyone.
Yeah,
kind of how it's going.
Yeah. But they do look fantastic. I will say that they look fantastic. So there's my Silverhawks. Can't wait to get into those. All right, let's get into some Brett packaging. Let me check the chat out real quick, see if there's anything else. Let's see. He's returning the favor from the last time I asked about the price of something. Your money isn't good here. That's true. I did tell them that. Diabolical. Box art to friends is fun. Looks great, Terrence. Yeah, I love when I get some box art. That's awesome. Met him down by the bay. Yeah, you can tell him. You can tell him whatever you want. Like he's a fucking liar. So, I love the Silverhawks. Love what he put out. But he's definitely a liar. Said can't do back metal in a action figure, in a articulated action figure. Then you buy all the ones that he puts out, and then a year later, by the way, here's the back metal versions. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got from Brett. First off, air pillows. Come on, that's fancy. That's not even, that's definitely not styrofoam peanuts.
Are those going on your bed? Are you going to use those on your bed?
No.
Okay.
Then we've
Just
got
curious.
bubble wrap, right? Pretty significant bubble wrap. With, I don't know if you guys have seen this guy.
Ooh,
The
nice.
legendary
One of
barbarian.
those up.
Yeah. I just had to slice and dice the one that I had for my He-Man custom. So, and also maybe you've heard of this one, legendary barbarian. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Very nice.
So yeah, 2 of those, and just making sure to not missing anything else there. And in return, what I am working on for him, you guys may have seen. So these are skeleton legs. I mean, I'm big of myself. They're skeleton lower legs, like the bear lower legs. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed. Hold on. Talk amongst yourself. I'll be right back.
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Good. Blake, you?
Oh, not too bad. Just hanging out on this live stream, just with this handsome guy. Oh,
Yeah.
he's back.
So when I did the skeleton raider, I had done this mod where I basically cut the bottom of the lower leg off, dremeled around it so that boot could fit on it, and it still like has all the boot twist and everything.
Nice.
That's cool.
And I think, yeah, I can pop it off. So that's kind of what it looks like there. So it's just like sawed off and then dremeled around, but it's kind of in a tapered motion to where you can still pop this on. It stays on. You still have all your articulation, but now you've got that kind of boot cut look for a skeleton. That is something that Brett was interested in. And so he was like, hey, you mind doing some of those for me? And at first I was like, it's actually really easy. Like I could tell you how to do it, and you could probably do it pretty quick. And then we got to talking about, I told him how much I really liked making this figure, but I kind of had to destroy my only barbarian for it. And he's like, well, how about I send you some barbarians and you cut some legs for me? I was like, deal. Wow. That's easy enough. So I will be working on those probably either, sometime this week. I will be working on those and getting those out. The only thing is you just want to be careful when you're doing that, not to dremel the taper part down too much to where it just kind of falls out of the boot. So you want to make sure, because what you can always do is if it feels like it's not going to fit, you can heat up the boot and kind of pop it on. So you almost want the peg to be a little bit too big for the hole. Because
I've heard that.
Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, so a couple barbarians, going to do some work for him. And then now I'm going to say that he did not follow directions here. I haven't opened this yet, but I am working on a custom that I need a horse for. A horse, single horse, preferably a black horse, which he said that he had a headless horseman one, which I said, that's cool. I said, was it the retail or the regular? And he said, well, I got like 2 or 3 of them. He's like, I'll just send them all your way. I'm like, no, I don't need 3 horses. I need one. I need 1 horse. And I'll trade you a graveyard skeleton pack for a horse. And he said, deal. But this does not look like 1 horse, and it definitely doesn't feel like 1 horse. So I don't know that he followed directions. So let's see. Once again, air pillows. This guy's professional. I mean, I don't know if he's got one of those machines. Have you guys seen the machines that do these? Have you ever seen those? They're pretty cool. It's just like it's like a roll of film, and it kind of goes through this machine, and then it just shoots air in it and seals it, like heat seals it real quick, and so they just kind of pop out one at a time. They're pretty neat.
Very cool.
So I don't know if he's got a machine that does this, or if these are just from other packages that he's gotten. All right, let's see. There's definitely a lot of shit in here. So first off,
Brett is not a good listener.
No, he is not a good listener. Great dude, an amazing photographer. Not a good listener. So let's see. First off, we have got. It looks like the original Headless Horseman horse because it's got the red hooves on it, red eyes. So there's that. So I will be using this in a custom here soon. Cool. So that he listened on. That's good. Then let's see. It looks like it's another horse.
He sent you the whole corral.
And this is the retail version. So now you've got green eyes, green hooves. So there's 2 horses for the 1 horse custom I need. And then he sent a little bit in pieces, but it's an Athon horse as well. So
you said 3 horse customs, right? That's
so
what you
3 horses for the 1 horse custom I need. So
he's been horsing around a little bit with you.
Yeah. So there you go. So I got a project for myself to work on. I got a project for Brett to work on. The Superpowers figure from Terrence to put in the garage by my other Superpowers, and the Silverhawks to open, which will be exciting. So
nice.
Let's see.
Quite a haul.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Pretty good day. I'm glad that I do these mail call videos because otherwise this stuff would just build up and it would never get open.
Right.
So, let's see. Check in the comments. Dorkler says I traded some Savage Crucible figures for some Barbarians recently, so I'm also restocked. Very cool.
Nice.
TD3 Trooper, what's up, my dudes? Not much. What's up with you?
What up?
Dirk says Brett's a photographer. Why is nobody talking about this? Exactly. Right? Not enough people talk about his photography. So he's anticipating he's going to like what you do and you're going to have to make him one. Maybe. It's possible. Also, we are no longer using the word anticipating. Kent on his most recent video made up a new word called intensipating. That's where you're intensely anticipating something.
Nice.
So that is the new word that we're using is intensipating. So yeah,
I heard that was added to the Oxford English Dictionary. So
it's definitely in my vocabulary. So yeah. Well, that is everything I have to open. You guys got anything you want to open? If not, I thought maybe we could kind of talk a little bit about this this new I'm So Small wave.
I do want to show a couple things I grabbed, and one is really important. So,
yeah, what you got?
I only got this guy.
Oh, that's nice.
And
very cool.
Love that.
So he's awesome. Absolutely done so well.
Darla's excited. She likes the pandas in World of Warcraft. So
those are awesome. And then I grabbed this guy because I'm working on a custom. So I grabbed him because I'm going to turn him into.
Oh, nice.
He's gonna have full soft goods, a gangster jacket, some denim jeans. Yeah, he's coming up.
Right.
Is that you as a dinosaur?
I mean, not just as handsome, right? Oh, you know.
No, I mean just like jacked, man. Holy cow!
No, he's got me beat. Yeah, this is.
Yeah. He's taking a little bit of the roids.
I'm pretty sure he's juicing. Yeah, that dinosaur's juicing.
He does have good dental health.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, cool. And then
he's going to win some bicycle races after this.
Exactly. And this came from a really nice individual. I think you guys might know him. He's another one of those kind of guys that sends you stuff, and then you're like, "Hey, how much do I owe you?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it." Which Curtis, love you, brother.
I hate people like that. Oh, very cool.
So I got this. Curtis sent this in one of his one of his trips out there thinking about me, so I appreciate it. Lights up. And this is the Megatron from Transformer 1, blocky classic class. He comes with all his weapons. Very cool. So that's it. I just wanted to share those.
Awesome. Let's see. Let me go back to this screen. Okay. You guys got a few minutes to talk about this wave, this new wave that's out there?
Yep, absolutely.
I thought, because I haven't really touched on it on this channel, so I thought maybe kind of touching on it from a customizing perspective. So let's pull this up. Actually, let me stop. Let me share it a different way, because I will share the window. That way, hopefully, as I open things, I don't have to reshare it. Let's do it this way. All right. So we'll kind of go in order here. So this first one, Halvard of Frothvar. First off, as far as like new parts go, I love the head. That head sculpt is amazing. The soft goods are fantastic. And then the lower legs, those like fur boot lower leg parts, like those are the parts that stick out to me that I'm like, that's beautiful. I'm definitely going to have some ideas for customs for that. But what other parts on here for you guys that stick out that you're, excited for?
All the same ones you pointed out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm curious what his torso is going to end up being. Like what torso they're going to use.
I think they showed it, and I'm pretty sure it was like the tabard one, like the
gotcha.
Yeah. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So,
well, he's got those cool bracers. Those can be fun on a lot of figures.
Yeah,
for sure.
On the wrists, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that the same? That's not the same shield as Nieve, where it has like the holes for the arrows, is it? I mean, it looks like the same style, but I don't see like the holes in it. So I wonder if those are different. Yeah. I think that might.
Knowing the Horseman, it wouldn't surprise me if it was different.
It's the same design basically, but I don't know that it has that part. So,
did they confirm? Do you remember? I mean, I watched everything like you did, but did they confirm that his ponytail moves or is detachable or is it sculpted in?
I think they said that they weren't sure yet. It would be cool if it was like wired. But yeah,
or movable, or you can just move it.
Yeah. It might be one of those where it's kind of that softer plastic, and maybe you can kind of heat it up and move it. But yeah. But and you also got the horn there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, the multiple neck pegs are always nice to have.
And I'm loving the newer weapons that we're getting too, that are just like more like accurate scaling and don't look like ridiculous sized.
Right. And that short sword, even though it's an older sculpt, it's one of my favorite weapons. Like
it's really cool.
Love that one.
It's a good one. What do you guys think about this new shield adapter thing?
I think that the concept is great. I'd love to play with it a little more and see how it works, before I'm committal about anything. But I think it's a great idea because some of those, not necessarily for that shield, but some of the ones with the faction emblem on them are really heavy, and you can get them to look good, but it's hard to get them to look good in different poses. So I think that's a wonderful idea to kind of combat that problem.
I think it gives options. Once again, another cool thing. Horsemen are always looking for new options and ways to, stage our accessories or mount them to the figure. So until it's in hand, I don't have any really judgment on it. I would like to look at the other head sculpt though, really quick.
Yeah. Hold on. Just one more thing on this shield thing. I like how it's going to position it different to where it's kind of further down the arm, which is cool. I would have liked maybe a strap like where those two pegs are that kind of go around the arm. If there was just a little strap that goes over it. I mean, that's something that, I could take one of the thousands of old belts that I have and just kind of cut it up, kind of glue a strap across it, just so when you've got him, like if his arm's open, like instead of just seeing two pegs like on the other side of his arm, like there's a strap there. But I think when he's holding it close to him, like from the outside, the way that it's going to position the shield now, I really like that. I just wish the inside was a little bit more finished look. So
right.
But yeah, let me go back to this one.
So I wonder if that head sculpt, if the chainmail veil, it's on its face, I wonder if there's a face underneath it. Like, I wonder if that's something that you could, for customizing, remove the chainmail on there, but there would still be a face underneath. You know what I'm saying? Or it's capable of?
It definitely looks like it's going to be like it's layered to where it would be in different parts. But if it's whether it's one of those kind of layered parts where it's meant to come apart, or whether it's one of those ones that's glued in, but then you could take it apart, I don't know how that's going to be. But one way or another, I'm sure people are going to modify that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Going into the next one they showed, I believe it's pronounced Egrain. Yeah, she looks really cool too. I love the leather and soft goods parts, the fur. Overall, this is just a great look. I do feel like the pauldrons might be a little bit big, but they are a nice piece that I could definitely see used on, potentially different figures.
Well, they originally came with the dwarf 2-pack, right?
That might be right. I
think so.
Didn't recognize them immediately, but that a lot of times they just paint it up just a little bit different and it makes it look completely different. So, but yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think the torso, that's the 2.0, the new version of the 2.0 torso also. So, this is an amazing build. Yeah.
There's a lot going on there that's really awesome. If you go to that back shot,
Yeah, Trevor did a nice back shot.
Okay, so that back shot, I don't know if anybody else got vibes. I didn't say anything right away, but when it came out, that first, I had Zelda. I had Legends of Zelda vibes from the back of that. It's an excellent sculpt. It's just, I think those soft goods and just the way it's built. You could easily turn that into, we're talking about customizing. You could easily turn that into a Legion Zelda. There's a lot going on there that already completes that look.
Yeah, I don't know about the is that what's the sheath? Is that what's that called? There's another word for that.
Scabbard.
It feels a little big for her. Like I like the piece. I just don't know that I like it for her. So
you know what kind of a sword it is, right?
Yeah, well, educate us.
It's a broadsword.
Oh,
gotcha. So it is appropriate.
I totally get it. Like even the sword feels a little big for her. Like, and trust me, listen, I've been collecting Myth of the Legions long enough to know that we've got some axes and hammers and things that are completely unrealistic in the real world. I feel like with the direction they've been going with some of the smaller weapons and things like that weapon and that scabbard feels more like like a big orc something or something like that.
Just a broadsword historically is a hand and a half sword, which means you could use it with one or two hands.
Yeah.
I could see her wielding that sword, in a two-handed fashion to be, more appropriate to her size. So the only thing is I would like in my display, the scabbard's definitely going to go on her waist. So,
well, like even like if you look at the handle there, like it tapers towards the top. So if she ends up putting two hands on it, I think that top hand is going to have to be stretched out to go around it.
With now that they have options with the hand, which is kind of nice. See how she has the open hand on that other one. You can have just the one hand holding it at the bottom and then the open hand for the top, just to stabilize it in it. You're not bending your hands out.
Yeah.
On the other end of that, especially with some of the older figures, I occasionally will have to heat up their hands and then smash them back down and let them
Gotcha.
cool off like that, just to get their grip back when they
Yeah.
switch out. It works really well though.
Yeah. I mean, I love all the pieces. I just don't like, I don't know that I'll display her with that scabbard, with those pauldrons, or that sword. I think I'll probably change her up a little bit and then give those pieces to somebody else. But all of those pieces are fantastic. I just don't know that personally, I don't know that I like the look of it on her. I really like all of this, like the blues and browns with the leather, the belts and the leather mixing together. And then when you go back to the front, that blue also is kind of covered up by the brown leather. So it's I don't know. It's just a really good mix of colors there with the brown, the blue, the white, the gold. It's just a really cool look to it. I like it.
Yeah. I like the idea that she's an adventuring knight, and that there's a lot more cloth, because being in full plate mail armor for long periods of time would be really uncomfortable, especially for traveling. So the fact that she has that adventuring traveling knight kind of look is really appealing to me. I actually think this is my favorite new figure for this wave overall.
Joe's having some technical difficulties there. I'm not sure what happened. That was weird. Yeah, that was weird. It was just like all of a sudden he dropped out.
And then I forget that someone is sensitive about their amazing gnome figure.
I agree about, like, especially that torso. Like, she still has like the metal like plate torso, but it's layered on top of like cloth or leather, so it's not like the whole sides and everything, but the part that you would want protected in the front and everything is got that layered armor on top of it. So it's armored in the right places, right? And it looks good. So
it does. And that fur neck piece is cool too, because they're somewhere far north where it's very cold, and you don't want your chin bumping into that frozen metal and getting stuck or something. So
looks like we got some other smartass in the chat says, I'll display her as is when I acquire her from Curtis. So
there it is.
So there you go. Looks like she will be displayed just like this. So you heard it here first. Anything else on this that you guys wanted to bring up or mention as far as like just, parts and customizing and anything like that?
I want to get these parts in hand actually, and well, this will be when because the dark elf girl, right, from Rising Suns is going to have some of these parts, like the new torso and stuff. I can't wait to see your exploded review of this, so that we can get a real good feel for those parts and the new articulation and things like that come with them. So.
Yeah, especially like the waist area. Like there's been some of these lately where it's like when you break up that waist piece, you'll have like 2 or 3 soft goods. You'll have like a one layered piece, another plastic layered piece on top of it. Then, it's just, there's a lot that goes into that whole kind of waist coverage area lately on a lot of the figures. So
do we know if the new 2.0 torso is still going to have the peg like the old ones, or if we're going to get a ball peg?
That I couldn't tell you.
I'm just curious. I hadn't heard anything, but
if I remember right, though, I remember from Rising Suns, one of the 2.0, and I can't remember if it was this one, but one of them was a removable chest plate as well.
Oh, nice.
And it might be this one. So I'm not positive, but maybe some options there as well. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, I do like the ball peg a lot better than that just kind of like 2.0 connector piece that sometimes comes unconnected. So
right.
And Trevor's saying she needs a fur cloak. Looking across the room, I just got a thumbs up, guys.
All right.
Yeah. We got a little torch in there too. I know we've seen one of those, but pretty cool.
Right on.
And plays into the story because apparently she throws it at the wolf creature.
After a very smart gnome throws alcohol on him.
Yeah, probably the best figure of the wave. Speaking of best figure of the wave, so then we go to Burris Burger Story, which, as we all know, Burger Story means big helper. It has nothing to do with a story about burgers. To other people's chagrin.
A little disappointed about that.
You know, I'm watching a little Robo this morning. He was talking about wanting a story about a burger. That's not what this is. It's Big Helper. And Burris is a tribute to some guy in the community. Apparently, does some things. I don't know.
Does everything's. Yes,
yeah,
that's
whatever.
that guy.
He's
He does all the things.
We've got this character here. What do you guys think of this? The new scale, first of all, and then the figure itself also.
The scale is amazing. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, hoping they would do it. I, of course, had no idea if they would actually do it or not. But anytime there's a new scale, customizing wise, just opens the doors to so much creativity. And I am really looking forward to the multitude of customs that people are going to be making with this, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it. I remember on Legion's Lair that the question comes up about what other factions or races, and this is Gnomes was the one I brought up back then too. I just think I think this figure is awesome. A lot of potential there, and of course, being a tribute figure for you, Curtis, it's well deserved, and it's definitely a really cool standout figure for you. And for the fans to have in their hands as a new race.
Yeah, first off, I was just excited about the gnome part of it, like the scale, and they were showing like the comparison photo. And I would not have guessed that if they were doing gnome scale, that it would have a double jointed leg. Like that's not something I would have thought of. Typically when I think of like what would potentially need double joint or you would want double joints on would be something that's lanky, that you want to get into a real crouch position, that, some monsters and things like that. So I wouldn't initially think about it on here, but with those little tiny legs, like being able to get some improved articulation on this and get it in more dynamic pose, I think is pretty cool. I'm glad that they did that on there. And then they talked about the arm. It didn't make sense. Like it didn't work to have the double articulated arm. So they went with the single on there. But I think the scale is super cool. I love the parts. I love that they did a lot of cloth and leather, which looks really cool. And then, the whole thing about with them doing the story and the tribute and everything, it was just unbelievable. It's funny because we were just talking, Jesse and I, to Michael and Brad last Sunday about, them doing these tributes and that like nobody is really deserving of this. It's just an amazing company that kind of does these things. And it's 100% true. Like there's so many, if you talk about, well, who deserves a tribute, because I've heard a lot of people have told me, oh, that man is well deserved and this and that. And I do appreciate the kind words. I do. But when you've got folks out in there like, Trevor and Dorclair and, Joe Vassapolo and Emil Wickman and Zombie 13, and you got, these people that have been doing this for years and years that don't have a tribute yet. Like it's hard to accept that, it's quote unquote deserving, but it's well appreciated. It is super appreciated. And yeah, I mean, even if this wasn't a tribute, this would be between this one and the other one we're going to look at next would be my two favorite, just because of the size and because they put two of them out of this size in the same wave to where now you're going to have some immediate swapping options, right? Because if it was just they put out one, that's really the only one that you got to work with. And you're very limited in terms of the customizing aspect of it. But the fact that they give us two imp scale in the same wave, I think is really, really cool. So,
absolutely.
So, I mean, I would talk about the new parts on here, but it's pretty much everything but the hands. So, yeah, just lots of stuff here. But I think what's going to be fun is I would love to see, I don't see Kirby here. I know he did that amazing like app for the armory experience where you can kind of select like your arms and your head and your torso and all this and that and put it together. I would love to see something with this figure and the next figure that we're going to look at, the Frost Fur. to see what if you just put the armored arms on this character, or what if you switch the pauldrons, or what if you put the fox head on this body, all the different iterations of that, I think would be super cool to see.
Yeah.
So,
and it looks like from this picture, now I don't know if that's how it's going to end up being when we get into final production, but it's got a nice little gap around the waist compared to the torso, where it looks like it's already ready for some soft goods to go on there. It looks like maybe Eric had the foresight to include that, where you could put a soft good shirt or something on him and it would look really good. It'd fit well. I mean,
yeah, I really feel like this guy needs like a hooded cloak.
Agreed. I like that idea. Yep. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
That's a wink and a nod. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that they should have included it here, because I understand it's all new tooling. They got to try to get get their bang for their buck so that they can, produce more of these things. But yeah, if there's anybody out there that makes soft goods is looking at this figure, I think a hooded cloak would be awesome. Maybe
in a windy, cold region,
yeah,
every character should have a hooded cloak
of the woolen variety, maybe. Yeah. So, let's see, awesome wave all the way through, but this figure is my favorite. Yeah, of course. And this lady here says he's so cute. I mean, he's so fierce. Yeah, that's it, fierce. So,
like Terrence's comment.
J-Max says, I always thought Curtis would get an orc, perhaps, but this gnome is super epic. Yeah, I don't typically see myself as a gnome. Like that's like that's not, if I was playing World of Warcraft or whatever. Like I did play a few gnomes. I had a mage gnome that was freaking I loved. But it's not like my normal go-to, but it's something I've really been pushing for in the line, because I just felt like, I think the thing that separates this line from a lot of others is all the variety and size and scale, to where you look at your shelves and you're just like, you got these big tall things and small things and monsters that are weird sizes and a meatball and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, like this really goes along with that.
Yeah, so, variety is the spice of life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else on this guy?
I can't wait to play with it. That's all these new parts and stuff. It's hard to know exactly what I want to do with them before they're in hand. You know what I mean? I can't wait to rip this gnome apart and see what he's made of.
When we were watching it live, I remember Trevor had said that like he had a hole in the top of his head for that cap to kind of plug into.
Yeah.
And I know this stuff isn't final till it's gone through, like, and they've done everything at the factory and stuff. I really hope they find a way to not have like a key locking system on this. I really hope that hat just kind of like goes down over it, kind of like Bromden's crown, to where you can take it off and it's a finished look without having to like use green stuff or anything like that to fill it in.
Yeah. Though using green stuff to fill in those keyways is super easy.
It's not the hardest thing, but there's some people that aren't customizers at all that just, it would be nice to have a separate look without.
It's a great opportunity for perhaps this channel though to do a video, because I did it on a couple of the swig heads, and there's definitely some technique to it, but it's not anything difficult, like anything
for sure.
To do it.
Yeah. And I, there may be somebody that's working on purple top hat for this guy. I don't know. Just saying.
No.
Yeah. And then he does come with the mug there, with the and also forgot the frost goblin head as well, if you want to do that.
Which represents the other half of Curtis's personality.
I do like
the kind gnome and the devious little goblin.
I do like on this photo, you can see kind of that torso a little bit better without the beard covering it up. See what that looks like.
Now, here's a question for you guys with the alt heads on this one, and like the forest goblin head on the other one. Will you guys display them on the gnome bodies, or will you put them on a goblin body for that consistency? Because I'm a consistency guy, and I'm already thinking that the alt heads I'll probably be displaying on a more classic body, so they look more uniform, and then using the gnome body on any extras that I get for like custom heads and things like that.
I'll be honest. For me, I probably won't use this head at all.
Okay.
It's just, you know, I for when it comes to like the extra heads in a figure, or when it comes to the quote unquote heads packs, that's not for me. Like there's people that, you know, that buy the line that want these different looks, but they don't customize, they don't paint, they don't go to shows, they don't buy heads from other people. So I do feel like those extra heads and stuff, the extra looks, have their place. It's not for me. Like, I'm going to buy a bunch of these bodies, and if I want to put another head on it, it's going to be something I painted or something that I got from a friend that painted, that kind of thing. It's not necessarily going to be another Horseman head, especially one that is a head from another named character that's just colored a little bit different. You know, I'm not
even the Jesse head.
The Jesse head's different because it's a tribute. So that one I'm definitely going to have. So
now, will you have it on the body it comes with, or
yeah,
okay,
yeah. So, what about you, Blake?
I'll probably get both and display them just because I like to have, you know, both of them displayed from the different ways. But now that Joe brings this up, he makes a good point. And I think displaying this alternate head on a regular goblin body might be the option. And I have a bunch of extra goblins, so I don't know. It's kind of a tough one because I do like the look. And to your point, Curtis, he is a named figure. So that's another, you know, but he could be a named figure, and he could be his, the way I look at it is this could be his long lost Frost brother, his twin brother from, you know, that's how I look at it.
He's a stunted goblin. It's so cold he didn't grow all the way up.
I mean, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he's the one that was like his twin brother. He got casted out. He moved north. The family didn't really care for him too much, and he kind of just went wayward. And he's been, you know, just kind of a mercenary goblin for a while, living his life up in the northern tundra. And he's obviously been eating healthy too, because he's looking pretty stout. And yeah, that's just a whole new story for him.
This is what I'm looking forward to. Like they, you know, Wolf King Customs has had these gnome kits for a while. And they're great. I love them. I've made several of them. The only bad thing is it's very limited in terms of the articulation, because you're basically taking off an extra segment. Like you're taking the knee and it becomes the ankle. And so you lose a lot of the articulation on it and stuff. But I think these heads are going to work perfectly for this. So like this mage gnome head, like this is one I'm excited to put on there. Like, because when I played a gnome in World of Warcraft, he was a fire mage, and like this, well, you've got there's a picture Lent has here of one that I painted up. That's a fire mage that I made with his kit. And like that's the kind of look that I would want to go for. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do something like that. But I think any of these like gnome heads that he's already put out here, I know he's done some like leprechauns and stuff. I think those are going to work great.
And I have all of those heads that I've done nothing with so far.
Well,
so
and even like the mouse one, like you've got all the mouse heads and mouse kits and stuff. I saw somebody put a cat head on the other figure that we're going to look at. And it looked great. Let me see if I can do. Yeah, you've got the Christmas mice. Like all of these, I think are going to look fantastic on that body.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so many different little critter custom heads now, 3D printed heads and stuff that you can now have a body that will, you know, take that.
You want to do like a little Gandalf mouse kind of thing, you know, like, yeah. So those are the kind of things that I think are going to be fun on this. You know, but I'm just going to throw this out here. Like Mythic Legion, 4 Horsemen could put out a wave that had no heads. They could put out a wave that was just bodies, and I would be over the freaking moon, right? Like I'd be perfectly fine. Yeah. I don't need the heads because I'm going to find heads from other places. Most of the figures that I have do not have the Mythic Legion head on it because I paint, and I know so many of my friends that paint, and I just want to show their work and that kind of thing. So the extra heads for me isn't needed, but I also saw people like in the Goblin group that were loving this. Like I think it was Kirby that did like all of the Goblin heads that currently exist in this color scheme.
Yep.
It was like kind of reimagining them all as Frost Goblins, and it looked cool, and they were all excited about it. So, you know, I'm kind of the mindset of let the horsemen do everything, and then we pick and choose what we like, right?
Oh, absolutely. So me being a completist, you know, when there's an alt head that's different from the main head of the figure, I want that in my collection. Like Mephitor, for example.
Yeah.
I have a Mephitor, but I also took that alt head and put it on a regular Goblin builder and put it in my collection just to, you know, represent all of the characters.
So what about if it's like a Legion's Con exclusive set that has like 6 heads? You have to have a whole character for each of those?
It depends. So like for the Uncone one, I've got 2. You know, one is the exclusive head, and then one is the head that they sold as the primary head. So I did 2 of those.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying multiples if there's alternate heads. I like to have all the characters too. All their visions that they had and why they included those extra alternate, you know, painted heads or whatever. I like to bring those to life on my shelf.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then like the Headhunter, I had some fun with that one because I put the exclusive head on it, but then he's holding the regular skeleton head like he's doing Hamlet.
Oh, that works.
You know, so that I thought was kind of a fun thing to do.
Cool. Hold on one second.
Yeah, it's like the Legion's. Legion's Con. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Just like, you know, you're a little bit more on that question. The Legion's Con exclusive that we already know about, right? The Crossroads. You know, that's quite of an investment for me already, just because there's so many different options there, and they all look good. So, yeah, I'm bringing an extra suitcase of Legion's Con this year.
For sure. What do you guys think about the barrel and different accessory type things here with it?
Love it. I love all the accessories. Anything that you can help tell the story on your shelf, or just extra pieces that you're like, hey, I don't have room, or I'm not going to put it with this because I displayed my whole faction together.
Yeah.
It gives you an opportunity for other customizing ideas, you know, for other things. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's I think it's really cool. I like that barrel kind of, you know, that it comes apart. You can put stuff inside of it. You could put the whole character inside of it if you wanted to. One thing I did. Go ahead.
I want to see this, Curtis, because you're good at this. Or I want to see him inside with his arms outside and his head outside, like he's wearing the. If it's feasible, I don't know the size ratio yet.
I don't know about him, but I'd love to see that on. Like a barbarian or something like that, where it's got somebody wearing a barrel, you know, like the old school. So poor they have a barrel for clothes.
The guy going over the Niagara Falls tribute figure.
Yeah. I did like this down here. It says headstands not included. And when I first read that, I was like, well, that's, you know, it's silly that they have to put that. It's like the you know, where Windex says, you know, not to clean glasses while you're wearing them kind of thing. Like you know, it feels like kind of like a duh moment. But then I looked over at it like, okay, well, what exactly are we talking about? And those headstands are pretty freaking cool. Like, I'll be honest, if they put out those, I would probably buy them.
Oh, totally.
Right? Like I just did on one of my travel toy videos where I was picking up those NECA headstands, and those are like pretty tall. These are much lower, and I feel like they display them really well. So I don't know if they make those or buy those from somewhere, or I'm guessing that they just 3D print them. But I'll be honest, if they put those out, I would buy that.
Those are probably Trevor's though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would guess that those are probably Trevor's.
But I would definitely buy those if they put that out. So, all right, moving along, we've got next one, Byler Frost Fur, which we actually had a little video last night from Jeremy Gerard. So we were doing a happy birthday thing to Jesse last night. Jeremy had done a video and popped on to PGG and said that unofficially, in his head canon, which is basically canon, this look is a tribute to Jesse. And I'm going to try to say the name right. I believe it is Jashai Frost Friend. So this is now a named character that is a official, unofficial tribute to Jesse Arnold. So congratulations, Jesse.
Yeah.
He had announced that kind of on the stream that in his head it was, but we got a name last night, which I thought was really cool. So
absolutely.
That's very cool.
So thoughts on this character?
Love it. I love that character. I'm actually shocked when that character came out how much I was all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just that's cute. Okay. It's definitely cute. I definitely like creatures, like, just different little characters. And I just think this was just another way to bring another, type of creature to the lore. And there's a lot of pop and swap capabilities of where that head sculpt could be placed on, or and then the backpack. I mean, let's look at that backpack that holds all his gear. I mean, how cool is that?
There we go.
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, I like that it looks very leathery, like the texture on there. Because I've seen some backpacks that have been done by some other 3D parts companies, including one from Wolf King, and they always look like very smooth. But here you can see the texture in the leather and stuff, which is just done really, really well.
It almost looks like suede. I mean, in the pictures, it kind of looks almost of that really worn, broken down, something's fuzzy, maybe, or.
Well, leather can dry out and crack in really cold temperatures. So I can see, Eric researching that and doing something that's more of a cloth. So, yeah, awesome stuff
for sure.
Super cool figure.
I love there's several things that I was really happy about with this character. For one, his character is a guide. So the backpack and the walking stick give him that look, like he spends time in the wilderness. He's the only character wearing full armor, but I think that's appropriate too, because, well, he's already got a coat on, right?
Yeah.
Just as a race, he's covered in fur, so wearing full metal armor wouldn't have as much of an impact on him as it would on some of those other characters, which I thought, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it seemed to fit with, for me. And then a furry tail, even a little tiny one, is kind of a neat addition. I know I already have a few customs that I wouldn't mind popping that tail onto for, and repainting for effect. So that's really cool too. And the neck piece, the collar piece, to give him that furrier look around his neck.
Go back to the previous picture. Well, let's go to the first one. Yeah.
I think the way it kind of looks like his fur is pushed up, because he's got that armor piece on, I think is a really neat idea. Just overall. And Fox in real life, even though they are cute, they can be quite vicious. I wouldn't want to fight this guy as a full-sized human, because who knows what parts he'd be trying to bite off. So that's scary right there.
Yeah, let me stop sharing this real quick and do it this way, because I wanted to look at these two side by side. So looks like we got different pauldrons. We've got leather bracers and hands on the one. We've got metal bracers and hands on the other. I think that the arms and legs, the upper arms and upper legs, are the same. It looks like the same cloth, lower or upper legs and upper arms. You've obviously got different lower legs with the boots on the gnome, and then the kind of the metal lower legs into the fur, the bare feet on the other one. The torso is, I believe, different. Let me go over to this other one with the goblin so we can look at the torso, but I'm pretty sure that torso, yeah, it's layered. There we go. So you can see it's layered on that one, whereas the other one looks kind of like the Valiant Knight almost.
Right.
But just,
Shrunk down.
Yeah, shrunk down.
Jeremy did say that though, that they intentionally try to keep that consistency so it looks like it belongs in the same world, which is really cool.
Yeah. And then you've got, different belts on here. The one's got more of that kind of simple belt with some pouches and stuff. The other one has got more of that kind of double strap with the grommets and buckles and everything. So, I mean, for two, this is the first two imp scale ones we're getting. Aside from the upper arms and legs, you're pretty much getting all different parts that you could mix and match and swap and create different looks for. So I just think this is really awesome. And I know we had a talk about this a little bit on Friday, but also with the accessories that these come with. Like, if you think of this as a 2-pack and just all the different swap options that you would have with these two figures, there's a lot of different ways that you can configure these, for a new scale and not having anything. Because I know they said that they're going to try to have some of the parts be compatible, like the pauldrons, like the feet and stuff like that. But they're not sure. Like, the only thing they know for sure is that the head will be compatible, because they've got to be able to fit those alternate heads on here. So if you don't know that anything else is compatible with any of the parts that we already have, you at least have these two figures that you can swap around and create some different looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Super cool. Very, very cool.
Okay, so let me get rid of this character because nobody wants to see that guy.
That's fun comments going on.
Yeah, let me get to that. Hold on, let me put this back on here. Anything else on this guy that you guys are excited for that we haven't talked about while I go look through the comments?
The campfire is really cool. I love the idea that Eric sculpted it where a tea light can fit inside to actually make it light up.
Brilliant, right?
Just it really shows the thoughtfulness that goes into all these parts.
Yeah. Steph says, I'm excited to see you fiends. I mean, friends. Let's see. I do headstands for furries. All right.
Nice.
Let's see. Dave says that was a special moment Jeremy did for Jesse. Yeah, that was last night on Purple Gang Gang. Super cool of him. Trevor said, I think those are Chris Ferrone stands. Okay, so that would be Mythic Bits. So check out Mythic Bits. Talk to Chris. Sounds like maybe he's got your headstand needs for you. Dirk says customizing potential between the gnome and this little guy has me super excited for this wave. Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's see.
Right there with you, Dirk.
Hack is important. You must oil it with saddle soap.
That stuff is correct. That
is on it.
Yep.
Elijah says fantastic character. Adore the armor. Absolutely. Tony Figs is here. Says, what up, dude?
What's up, Tony?
Tony. Very vicious. We have a family of 4 at the farm, ready at any time to eat Chewbacca and Padme. Wow. Yeah.
They're wild animals for a reason.
Yeah. Jake says the little cane is fun. Yeah, I do like the cane. That is a nice little touch on there too. So,
and I'm curious on that. Can it be, because for him it's a walking stick? Will it be a cane for full-sized figures? That
could heck for a bigger figure, it might be a wand.
Well, like for a vampire, for example, you could have a very regal looking vampire character that uses that for a cane.
Absolutely. Let me get to the loadout part. Okay, so you're getting the campfire, the Byler by himself. You're getting that extra Jashai head, the backpack. You've got the frying pan. Little dagger, the walking stick, a pouch. I believe, what did they call this? I know it's basically a cup, but
it's a water bottle, so that way you can do a custom soccer mom.
There you go. So it's a water bottle. And then a few different hand options, which I thought was cool that, we're getting some different hands with it as well. So
absolutely. The frying pans
very
are
neat.
going to be fun too, I think.
Yeah.
And that little coin purse is going to go perfect with the gnome. I think that he should have had it anyways, since he runs a tavern.
And I'm also, something that's been popping in my mind just because of all the opportunities, I could really see another heads pack coming with some of these individual heads here in that heads pack.
Maybe, like I said, that's not for me, but for anybody else that needs that, it's definitely cool for some people. So, and it makes Joe spend money on extra bodies. So
I do. I in fact do that regularly.
So then we saw the in kit. We've seen some of these in the other figures with the frying pan and the barrel of ale, but now we've got another set of apples colored a little differently than we've seen before, some grapes colored differently, and some sausages.
I've made sausage in real life that doesn't look that appetizing. Let's be honest,
You're right. They look
what
so
an
good.
amazing job painting up tubes of meat. Yeah.
And I love the logo on here that I guess Jeremy doodled at an airport. That's a nice doodle. Public house, Wolfsbane Lager. Just really cool. I like that.
Yeah. Getting an extra pick to put with maybe a dwarf character or something is kind of cool too.
Yeah. Then we got a bear, which surprisingly was not it wasn't the thing that people were talking about coming out of this. Like there was a lot of other stuff, and I mean, this is still, we haven't got the first bear in hand yet. This looks amazing. I love the new sculpt for the head for the polar bear. It really makes it to where that body works because of the new head sculpt.
That bear head looks like he's tired of your shit, Curtis.
He definitely is. He definitely is. I'm gonna have my character next to him drinking a Coke, and he's just kind of looking at me like, "Oh God, this guy again with the Coke."
Funny you bring that up. I'm just curious. Are you going to make a custom?
Oh, absolutely.
A full blown, painting.
You got to make this the Coca-Cola bear.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How do you have this bear and me come in the same wave and not make it a Coca-Cola bear? So,
agreed.
For me, anyways. I'm not saying other people have to do that. So, but yeah, just cool look overall. I mean, a lot of this is the same that we've seen. They did add a different head, which I don't think Trevor had in the pictures because I think they had it after the fact, but it is the original head, with the mouth open painted, but with it open, I don't know that you can necessarily tell the difference in shape and stuff. So I think it still works.
Yeah, for sure.
But so
he looks so good there. And of course,
if you're ever faced by a bear with his mouth open at you like that, you shouldn't be thinking his head doesn't look just right.
Does that bear look like Bodvar? I can't remember.
The one thing on here though, like the way that story went, like this bear was getting his butt kicked in that story. I fully expect some people to bloody this thing up.
Yeah.
Like Dremel some battle damage on this, and
Well, he was also murdering people too, so even enough blood to show that he is not a friendly polar bear.
Yeah.
His facial expression, what's the word I'm looking for? His facial expression. Excuse me. Yeah. I think it's classic. It just shows like a worn, like he just looks like he's not enthused. He's just like,
like Joe said, he's sick of my shit. So
yeah.
Well, he's trying to bear with
a dad joke,
Then we got Jakul, who is not real happy. Like he, listen, he's one of those guys that like if he farts, he's gonna let you know about it. He doesn't need you accusing him of other people's farts, right? Like he's like, if I murdered somebody and you're mad at me about the murders that I did, that's cool. But don't be accusing me of stuff that I didn't do. That's not cool. So he's a little angry. Very cool look on this guy because of the brute scale pauldrons. I think, initially I thought this was like an ogre or even a brute scale, but I guess it basically stands about the same size as a 1.0 figure. Obviously, he has the newer articulation, but
he's so mad.
He's very imposing.
That's why he has double jointed elbows, so he can give the,
There you
that's
go.
how mad he is. Yep.
Yeah. And then he's got those bone weapons that are pretty cool. I actually didn't honestly recognize the pauldrons at first. They are the Tharnog pauldrons, but adding those horns to it really changed up the look of that to where I didn't even recognize it. Plus, he's got like those attachments coming from his head, and which at first I couldn't tell. I thought that was part of the pauldrons.
Right.
So yeah, there's just a lot going on, and Eric Miller painted this guy, and he did a fantastic job.
Amazing.
So, yeah. If you guys out there, Eric, make sure you reach out to him, let him know how great of a job he did on this. I know that Eric, like a lot of folks in the customizing world, sometimes you question, your own ability and your own this and that. You get a little bit of that imposter syndrome going on. And he just does such killer work. So, if you like this figure, make sure you reach out to him and let him know. I think this thing is fantastic. I love the way that this came out. So,
are those new feet?
I think that I don't know. I initially wanted to say that they weren't, but now, I don't know. I feel like maybe we've seen them on something in a wave that we don't have in hand yet.
I got you.
But I could be wrong.
Because the feet and the bracers, I don't really recognize them, but like you said, that could be something that we don't. That's out, but we don't have
scapular feet, maybe.
It's possible.
Atlas has one of those feet.
Okay.
He just has one.
Yeah. Because he's got alternate. He's got like a boot on the one, and then he's got the metal on the other side. Yeah,
that's right.
So, very very cool figure. So, he does have alternate head, so more just kind of the standard orc head versus this newer one. I think the newer one is fantastic. As much as that orc head looks cool, this thing is just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
the fact that we can have more than one frost orc in our display right off of the bat is
super
cool.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the painters out there, you can have as many frost orcs as you want. So
I display my customs and official stuff separately, Curtis.
Yeah, the rest of ours aren't locked in by your rules, Joe.
I wasn't talking about anyone else but myself.
Then we got Garmir. Which that was wasn't that the old GPS? No, that was Garmer. But this is not a werewolf, folks. It's a wolf.
So you're saying this werewolf is going to get you lost in the forest somewhere?
No, he is not a werewolf. He never transfers into a man, so he's not a werewolf. He's a wolf creature thing.
He's a bad wolf though.
That just rolls off the tongue,
Yeah,
he's a big bad wolf.
He is a big bad wolf. I've got to say, I think they killed it with this thing. If I hear somebody say that this is their favorite figure instead of the gnome, I can't even fault them for it. This thing is just spectacular. We've seen a lot of wolves from different companies recently. I think this is my favorite. It just looks so great. The armor pieces, I love the non-symmetrical chain on the pauldrons, the big damage on the torso, on the chest, the chains that actually come with the bracers and stuff, the weird kind of Varg thing on the belt that you're not sure what's going on with that. This guy is just really freaking cool. Thoughts on this guy?
Just amazing. I mean, the head sculpts, the multiple head sculpts, they're all good. I don't even know
I love that
which
pose.
one I'm going to want to use to display him, because even the muzzle that he comes with, is amazing. So,
I like the depth of this figure, not only for the different looks, but also there's lots more that we need to learn about this figure. I like how, with the shoulder polishers, his armor, we've heard it before, but who gave it to him? Where did he get it from? Who's involved with this, this character? So I think it's pretty neat.
Dorclair says best wolf head sculpt by far. Which one though? The open mouth or the closed mouth?
I like the open mouth.
See, I think I'm a closed mouth guy. I think I really like the way that the one with the closed mouth has the bigger eyes. And
I like the closed mouth with the muzzle, but
yeah.
But I like the action of the one where he's just like vicious and he's like that. I love that. That shot is that pose is really cool. It screams, I don't want to be anywhere near that wolf at all.
That is definitely a cool look. I really like this. I like the long snout, the big eyes. What big eyes you have. I don't know. I just love that look. But yeah, I mean the open mouth is cool too. I believe I'm going to probably use the closed mouth though without the guard. But that is a cool look too.
I would love to see someone take a photo of him chained to a wall with the muzzle on, but in kind of a relaxed pose, like he's just waiting to be free, so that he can rip you apart. I think that would be really cool.
Dorclair says closed mouth. It looks so classic. And it says same way Barry Thayer looks. Classic, iconic. Yeah, I could see that. And then Steph says, I wolf you. Well, the
open mouth is going to be really handy though for photos of him eating those sausages from the
yeah,
or grabbing a hold of Burris.
I think one of my favorite parts though is that obsidian blade. That obsidian blade is so freaking awesome.
I know I've mentioned it before, but D&D in the past had a setting called Dark Sun where metal was super rare. So something like a bone-handled obsidian sword would be really common in that setting, and I always thought it was a really cool look. And so I definitely love that weapon.
Very cool. And that is the wave. Any other call outs on this guy before we look at the overall?
I'm looking forward to seeing what the 3D printers come up with as
great shot.
Alternate heads that fit with that furry body and stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of creative people doing a lot of really awesomely creative things.
I think one of the things that I'm super excited for with this body is what it might mean for Figure Obscura. And typically it's the other way around. Typically Figure Obscura introduces new parts that then it's like, I'm thinking, okay, how is that going to incorporate into Mythic? But this just big, furry, double jointed, articulated body with, I look at this same way with like the Leodicius in the Rise of the Beast wave, the Basilia. I look at these pieces and I go, how could those be potentially used in a Figure Obscura figure? Because if they can use some of this, I'm sure they will. They're with the Figure Obscura, they are not afraid to add some other tooling, some new tooling to make it the best version of that. But I think it just opens up some more doors. But go ahead. Yeah, Blake.
I said it for a little while, and I'm going to say this one again, especially since these two figures came out in this wave. I can see an easy Commander Igraine as Little Red Riding Hood, and this is the Big Bad Wolf in a Figure Obscura Red Riding Hood 2-pack.
Yep. Totally could see that.
And I'd buy it.
Hell yeah.
You can repackage or repaint these two figures multiple ways, and my bank account's open.
Here's what you do. All right. You give me a 4-pack, right? You throw 3 Warriors in it and this guy.
Ooh, there you go.
All right. I'm just saying. I would buy
that would be
it.
a really cool graveyard pack.
Yeah. Sure. 3 Warriors and this guy.
I got to throw it out there. That's a figure I actually do not have.
Oh, really?
I want a Warrior. So
he's one of those ones that I waited on for a while because he looks terrible in package. like in package, he's got that head turned sideways, and you're like, this is ridiculous. Like the size of the head compared to the body, it looks really. And then you get him out of the package, you turn the head, and you're like, oh, this thing's freaking awesome. Like,
I know, he's so cool.
And his armor colors are fantastic, dude. It's like one of the best, like gunmetal with like some shine of metal throughout, and like great dry brushing. And then it's got red on it and stuff. It's
I was actually, it's a bummer, Blake. I'm bummed that you didn't tell me that sooner, because I was army building warriors for a while, and then have since given them all my spares away. Darn it. If I had known, I would have.
It's okay.
Man.
I'll find one sooner or later, but yeah, that is a figure that now that you bring that up, Curtis, on that 4-pack, you just like kind of opened up rip the Band-Aid off of my warrior one. I'm sitting there going,
you never know. You might get a wolf man and 3 warrior pigs.
We need another warrior anyways, like another warrior release.
Yeah,
I think that's a cool enough concept for a race that we should see more of them in the future.
Yeah,
warriors are cool. Yeah.
So this entire wave is available right now through Store Horseman, $375 for the all-in, which is a significant discount over what you will get down the road from retail or from table pricing. So if you're interested in this, that is the best time to buy. And I would say, these little guys, I would buy a bunch of those little guys just because they're awesome. So,
yeah,
I know I am. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it. I don't see any questions from the chat. Anything else that you guys wanted to mention about the wave or anything else?
It's an amazing wave, and thank you to the 4 Horsemen for another awesome wave, just absolutely knocking it out of the park. Thank you for providing 2 of my good buddies with tribute figures that they very much deserve, no matter how much they say they don't deserve them. They have brought many, many fans into this and provided hours and hours, maybe days or weeks of entertainment to us on the YouTubes over the years. So I very much appreciate that. And I'm sure Curtis does too.
Absolutely. Blake, anything from you?
Yeah, I'll ditto exactly everything Joe said and add. Thank you to Jeremy for the idea. I'm pretty sure he was behind this during the rollout, just actually bringing it in story mode. I know I've mentioned that a couple times, but just the development during that release there was anticipation building. I actually felt like somebody's reading me an audiobook on some really cool adventure, and to see these figures be released, and then more of the story comes out, and then another figure, and how that figure, is part of the story. And in the end result, you kind of left sitting there going a little, okay, I got it, but what else? So thank you to Jeremy and the 4 Horsemen, not only for the amazing wave, but for the presentation of how they rolled the wave out. I think it was outstanding.
I am super curious. I hope we find out what factions had the cowards that were like, no, we're too scared.
I agree.
And ran back to the castle of 4 sides.
I want a snitch 4-pack. I want the little.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. The yellow streak 4-pack. Yeah.
That's
it's
awesome.
It'd be called the Runaway Wave. The Runaways.
Yep, because we know who the brave ones are, the blonde young girl that stayed where the grown men ran away. Come on.
Right. I
want to know who to disrespect.
Little furry creature that stayed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome wave. Appreciate the tribute. Not only the tribute, but like the stuff that Jeremy led in with my figure, especially with, beforehand, kind of talking about the name and where it comes from and the whole big helper aspect, really meant a lot to me. This is a community that, I love it. I probably wouldn't even, I don't know. I wouldn't be happy if I didn't find this community. That's for sure. It's just something that's completely changed my life. And, I just dedicate my time to supporting the different shows and making sure that people are, getting into the hobby of customizing and, talking about this line with everybody I know. I'm not one of these, collectors that is afraid to share with their family or friends or work, colleagues that they collect. Like I'm out there just, I'm beating down people's doors and talking about it because I feel like this stuff is awesome. It's fun. And if I can help one person to either start customizing or start collecting this and enjoying themselves, like it makes all the difference. So yeah, it means a lot with this whole tribute stuff. And you know what, guys, I appreciate you jumping on with me today for the mail opening, for talking about this. It definitely helped because I was feeling kind of down in the dumps beforehand. And I know we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but folks, if you're struggling, whether it's anxiety, stress, depression, whatever it is, make sure that you don't suffer in silence. Talk to your friends, get it out of your system, do something about it. So
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, I think tomorrow I've got another How'd They Do That dropping. I've just got to figure out who it is so that I can tell you guys and give you a little teaser. I know we had Tanya this past week, which if anybody hasn't seen that one, really love that one with Tanya.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
It's a great video.
Yeah, I was really happy with how that one came out.
And isn't it mesmerizing? Isn't Tanya's voice just so soothing?
She's the best. She's awesome.
She's like, hey y'all, how you doing? She's just so nice, and I just love it.
And she's one that like within a year period just like was like, I'm gonna start customizing, and then just starts blowing out all these amazing customs and the tribute nature of them, and now she's doing her own like the Mod Squad on Saturdays where her and Stacy are painting in front of people and talking through these things, and it's great. Actually, tomorrow I have one of my good buddies and favorite artists from the community, Arthur Zoran, on.
Oh, nice.
He has one of the most amazing tables at Legion's Con. It's one of those tables that you can visit it first thing Saturday morning, and it's going to look different at noon. It's going to look different at 4 o'clock. It's going to look different on Sunday because he just keeps bringing out more stuff and kind of switching it up. And his stuff is all fantastic. So he covers some really cool stuff, including a little spoiler for tomorrow: how to use chalk in your paint jobs. So if that's something that you're interested in finding out, that will drop tomorrow morning, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. And until next time, keep creating, folks.